Good morning, students. This is Mr. Krause. If you're here, it's because you want a little extra review. A little extra work. Might help you out on the test. You never know. Might not, but you got to study. So if you're here, congratulations. You're probably a hardworking student, and you should do well on tomorrow's test. If you're not here, so I'm going to go through a number of problems. I would suggest that you pause them, try them on your own, and then watch the video or me do the solution. Sitting here watching me perform like a trained monkey is estupido, otherwise known as really dumb. So I would suggest you use Mr. Key appropriately, which means at this point I'm going to start this problem. Most of them are going to be handwritten. I don't know why I decided to type this one. Got old real quick. It says, what is the reference angle for the following? So now would be a good time to pause. Oh, you paused? Hope you paused. Okay. Now you're back. Hey, I hope you did okay. We're going to go through these very quickly. Hope we can see the four problems. The first one is negative 295. So negative means I'm going to go down negative 90, negative 180, negative 270. I got to keep going. So this is negative 270 so far. And then I got to go another 25. 295. So I'm at negative 295. Now, all the way around would be 360. So I just got to figure out how far away 360 and 295 are from each other. Well, 360 to 300 is 60, so the answer to this question is 65 degrees. Remember, your answer will always be positive, and it will always be acute. A cute little angle. Hope you paused. If you haven't paused to do them all, then pause now before I do the next one. You're back. Well, here we go. Okay, 140 degrees. That's 90. That would be 180 to go all the way, so I don't want to go all the way. So somewhere over here is 140 degrees. Well, to get to 180, I got to go another 40 degrees. So the answer to this one is 40 degrees. Moving on. 7 pi over 9. Now, if you're a smart kid, you could tell me, if you wanted to, the answer is 2 pi over 9. Because 2 pi over 9 and 7 pi would make 9 pi over 9. But, okay, maybe you want to convert it to degrees. 180 over pi. Pi's cancel. And then you take your calculator and you multiply this out. So over on your calculator, you'd say, okay, control division, negative 7 over 9 times 180, and then we'll get negative 140. Ooh, negative 140. So the answer is negative 140 degrees. Well, that should make this easy because I wasn't thinking. This is 90. There's negative 140. I would have to go another 40 degrees. It's the exact same problem as the other one, except negative instead of positive. But remember, you're always acute, always positive. So let me multiply by 180 over here, over pi. The pi's cancel. 90 goes into 180 20 times. 14 times 20 would be 280 degrees. If you use your calculator, it would be 280 degrees. All right, so 280 degrees. 90, 180, 270, and a little bit more. So 280 degrees. But remember, it's always with the x-axis. So I got to figure out how far away 360 and 280 are from each other, and they are 80 away. So the answer in this case would be 80. All right, that's it. I'll give you a chance to look at the next problem. If cosecant equals negative 3 over 5 and tangent is less than 0, what is the exact value of cosine of theta? Now would be a good time to pause. You're back. I'm going to start making faces so you can see. You can try to pause it during my faces, like maybe this face. Ah, that's hot. Anyway. Okay, you're back. Oh, what happened? I'm out. Okay. So what I got to first figure out is which of my bow ties, triangles, I need to draw. Now, I'm going to remember that if cosecant is negative, really what's negative is sine is negative. And I know that sine is negative down here and down here. So I know it's got to be one of those two quadrants. Tangent is negative. Well, let's see. All students take calculus. Tangent's positive here and positive here, so tangent's negative up here and negative down here. That means the big winner is the fourth quadrant. So I'm going to go draw a triangle in the fourth quadrant. So ring for one of my bow ties, right angle. Now, I don't know a lot about what this means. Cosecant theta equals negative 13 over 5. Ooh. All right, well, I'm just going to do it. It's kind of a stupid question. Darn. Sorry, kids. This one didn't turn out nice like I wanted it to. That should have been negative 12 over 5. Anyway, all right, if you did this problem, this is really sine. Oh, no, I'm right. I'm right. Sorry, I'm right. So sine of theta is really equal to negative 5 over 13. So here's my radius. Here's my theta. So 5 over the hypotenuse. Opposite over hypotenuse. Now, if you did the Pythagorean theorem, what you'd find out is that this side is 12. So the question is, what is the cosine of theta? Well, cosine of theta is adjacent over hypotenuse. The adjacent is 12. The hypotenuse is 13. And you all know that the very last thing that you're going to do before you do that circle that I just did there, that circle your answer, the last thing you're going to do is check for the SIGN. Is it positive or is it negative? All students take calculus. Cosine is positive in the fourth quadrant, so this is going to be positive, and it is correct. There you go. Let me see if I got this one right. I do. So if cotangent theta is equal to negative 15 over 8 and secant of theta is less than 0, find the exact value of sine. Okay, here comes your face. You're back. Hey, kids. Welcome back. All right, so first we got to figure out which quadrant we're in. Ching, 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 ching. Let's see. Cotangent is negative. Really, that means tangent is negative. Tangent is negative up here and down here. So it's got to be in either 2 or 4. Secant, don't know anything about secant, but cosine is negative. Remember, this means negative. So cosine's negative here and here. So in this case, the big winner is the third quadrant. So the second quadrant, right over here. Second quadrant is the winner. Clean it up a little bit. Whatever. Just use my eraser. All right. So anyway, second quadrant. So we're going to draw our triangle in the second quadrant. Theta. Now, I don't know a lot about cotangent. But tangent is opposite over adjacent. And tangent would be the flip of this. So that would be negative 8 over positive 15. So there's my 8. There's my 15. Now, if I do the Pythagorean theorem, what I find out this is 17. Because 8 squared plus 15 squared equals x squared. That would give me x squared is equal to 289. Or x is equal to 17. All right, so I want to know the sine of theta. Well, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So that would be 8 over 17. So the answer is 8 over 17. But I need to check. All students take calculus. Here, sine is positive. So yes, indeed, I can box that in. There's my answer. In a circle, that's a circle, in a circle with central angle of 5 pi over 6 and intercepts an arc of 15 pi over 24, what is the radius? All right, here comes the pause. You're back. I hear central angle and arc. Arc. I'm talking arc. So this is like arc length. An arc length of 15 pi over 4. So then I'm thinking, oh yeah, that's the formula S equals theta R. Remember, S is the arc length. Theta is my degrees or my angle measure. in radians. It must be in radians. So if you have 120 degrees or 140 degrees, you got to change it into radians. And this is my radius. All right, no problem. Radius. So S equals theta r. Let's see. I have a central angle of 5 pi over 6. Well, this is already in radians, so I'm in great shape. My angle is 5 pi over 6. Awesome. Intercepts an arc of length 15 pi over 24. 15 pi over 24. What is the radius? Well, I don't know what the radius is. So in order to solve for the radius, it should be pretty clear. I'm just going to come over here and divide by 5 pi over 6. Now, I'm going to show you how to do this on a calculator, but what I would hope that most of you would do is multiply by the reciprocal. And in this case, the reciprocal would be 6 over 5 pi, because that would cancel, and those would cancel. So I multiply this side over 6 over 5 pi. Pi's cancel. 5 goes in here 3 times. 6 goes in here 8 times. So the radius would be 3/8. Now we're going to show you how to do that on a calculator. 15 pi over 24. So control division. 15 pi over over pi over 24 divided by control division 5 pi over 6. 5 pi over 6 and bomb point. Oh, 6 doesn't go in here 8 times. 6 goes in here 4 times. What I don't understand is why it's a decimal. It gives me radius is equal to 0.75. Boy, the calculator is nice. Maybe we should be using a calculator. Made a dumb mistake like that. 6 goes into 24 8 times. For some reason I was doing 3 goes into 24. That was dumb. So the answer is 0.75 or 3/4. All right, take a look at the next one. In a circle with central angle of pi over 4 and radius of 20, what is the exact length of the intercepted arc? Ooh. So, pause. You're back. Great. I hope you guys are really, truly pausing it. If you're not, just turn it off. You're not learning anything. You're not trying anything. You know the hardest part about math is staring at a problem for 2 minutes and trying to figure out how to do it. That's the hardest part about math. And when you can do that, you've gone over the hump. You've actually achieved something. You're there. You know, it's the people that struggle, and then get it. You know, and like I said before, if you're not throwing something across the room and getting mad and breaking things and yelling and screaming, then you're not doing math. Welcome to math. That's math. I know your parents don't want to hear that, but that's math. You have to get angry. You have to get frustrated. You have to get to that point of really uncomfortableness, and then there's a hump to get over, and then you get it. It's kind of like riding a bike. Fall, hurt, fall, hurt, fall, hurt, fall, hurt, fall, hurt. Finally, eventually you get it. That's how we do things, kids. What is the length? I don't know the length of the arc, but I do know the angle, and I know the radius is 20. So I don't know the arc, which is S, but I do know my angle, which is pi over 4, and that's already in radians, and my radius is 20. So if I take these things and I multiply them, I get my exact length is 5 pi, because this is really 1/4 times 20 is 5. So the exact answer would be 5 pi. I come over here and I plug in 5 pi into my calculator, and I get 15.707. So 15.707. You know I like 6 decimals. 963. Round to the hundreds place. 15.71. A little different. Go ahead. Pause it. Welcome back, kids. Welcome back. Just had a little coffee break. So, circle with central angle is 330 degrees, intercepts an arc of 21. What is the radius? Rounded to the nearest, 10 thousandths place. So in this case, I've given you 330 degrees. That's useless. I need to have it in radians. So you have to multiply by pi over 180. So this is really 330 pi over 180. I'm going to come over here, 330 divided by 180. And I get 11 over 6. So my angle is really 11 pi over 6. By the way, you could have just used this. Doesn't really matter. So the question is, what is the length? Wait, it intercepts an arc of what is the radius? I don't know what the radius is. So 21 is equal to 11 pi over 6 times r. So now I'm going to divide this by 11 pi over 6. And since I just rounded to the 10,000ths place, I'm just going to figure out, let's see, 21, wait, control division, 21 divided by 11 pi control division, oops, 11, my computer's running slow again today, pi over 6. All right, and this is going to give me some crazy decimal, 3.64609. 3.64609, rounded to the 10,000ths place. Let me get a couple more decimals in, 64609, 505. 505. So tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000ths. 3.6461. Boom. All right. So hopefully you guys remember what the words exact value means. There's 4 problems right there. Pause it right now. You know exact value means don't use your calculator. So pause it right now and figure out what these are. God, you guys are getting some great screenshots. First thing I'm going to do is figure out what the reference. Now, if you couldn't do these, if you couldn't do all of these and you like have no idea, I just misspelled that. Then let me show you how to do the first one and then try the rest of them on your own. Negative 225 degrees. Let's see where that is. Negative 90, negative 180, negative, well, 270 would be here, negative 270. So it's about here. So now I got to figure out what this reference angle is. How far past 180 did I go? So I got to figure out what's the difference between 180 and 225. 225. Now, if I ask you the exact value, the answers are going to be 0, 30, 45, 60, or 90. It's going to be one of those 5, okay? So in this case, these two are 45 apart from each other. So this is really the cosine of 45 degrees. And we all know that the cosine of 45 degrees, since my reference angle is 45, is radical 2 over 2. But before you turn in anything with cosine, sine, tangent, cotangent, all that stuff, you're going to think about the SIGN. All students take calculus. Since I'm in this quadrant, sine is positive, so cosine must be negative. All right, if you didn't get that, now pause it and get the next one. You're back. All right, 120 degrees, 90, 120. Now the question is, how much further do I have to go to get to 180? Oh, 60 degrees. So this is really the sine of 60 degrees, which is radical 3 over 2. However, I got to think about my SIGN again. All students take calculus. The sign is positive here, so that is in fact your answer. All right, I'm running out of room, so I'm going to work over here. Tangent of 150. So 150 is really close to 180, but not quite there. In fact, you only have to go another 30 degrees. So really what we're working with is the tangent of 30 degrees. Well, I know that the tangent of 30 degrees is the square root of 3 over 3. And again, if you forget that, come over here and figure out, go tangent 30. Oh yeah, what? Okay, so is that radical 3 divided by 3? Radical 3 over 3? Oh yeah, it is. Oh, okay, I got it. Now I got to think all students take, tangent's positive down here, but it's negative in this quadrant, so my answer is negative. All right, 7 pi. Oh, I got 2 more. There's 2 more for you. Hopefully it paused it now. So we're going to convert 7 pi over 6. And when you do that, you get 210 degrees. You're just going to multiply by 180 over pi. 210 degrees, let's see, 90, 180, and a little bit more. So we're in this quadrant, and our reference angle is 30. That's how far. 30 and 180 or 180 and 210 are 30 away from each other. So really what I have here is the sine of 30 degrees. Well, the sine of 30 degrees is 1/2. So this is equal to 1/2. But before I box my answer in, all students take calculus. Sine is not positive down here, so we are a negative. All right. You haven't seen this one, so if you pause it, keep pausing it. All right, 4 pi over 3. If you did negative 4 pi over 3, what you'd end up with is negative 240 degrees. Whoa. Yes, negative 240 degrees. I had a brain fart there for a second. So to do negative 240, let's see, that's negative 90, negative 180, negative 270 would be all the way over. So we're negative 240 degrees. So how far away is 240 from 180? I don't really care about the signs. I just want to know how far those two numbers are away from each other, not worry about the sign. Because remember, whatever number I come up with has to be less than 90, and it has to be positive. So these are 60 away from each other. I know another 60. So what is the tangent of 60 degrees? Well, the tangent of 60 degrees is radical 3. But I'm in the second quadrant, and tangent's negative here. Let's keep moving. In the unit circle below, now this is important. It's a unit circle. Find the values of x and y. Good time to pause would be now. All right, here we go. First thing I'm going to do is convert this to degrees, and if I convert this to degrees, we just already decided, I think we just did it right up here, 4 pi over 3. That's weird. 240 degrees. And that kind of makes sense, 240 degrees. That means my reference angle would be 60 degrees. Now, because this is the unit circle, the x value is cosine of theta, and y value is the sine of theta. All right. Well, x is, what's the cosine of 60? The cosine of 60 is negative 1/2. Is 1/2, but I'm in the third quadrant, so it's negative. The sine of 60 is radical 3 over 2, but again, I'm in the third quadrant. Sine is negative. One more of these. Now, some of you are smart enough to realize I divided by 4, so my reference angle is 45. Some of you may not, so if you do this, you end up with 315 degrees. And that kind of makes sense based on where the angle is, about 315 degrees. 315 is 45 away from 360. These are 45 away from each other. So I want to, x would be the cosine of 45. Y would be the sine of 45 degrees. And I know that both of those are the square root of 2 over 2. But before I box in any answers, all students take calculus. Cosine's positive down here. So cosine's positive, so that means sine or y has to be negative. All right, moving on. Ooh. I know this is quick, but you should have paused this. And you should have already tried this on your own. Determine the quadrant, which quadrant the terminal lies. Now these should be really easy, so pause it and get through them. These are really easy. Where are you going to draw your triangle? That's all I'm asking. You should have paused it. Why watch me? Pause the damn thing. Oh, watch the damn thing. Sorry, parents. My potty mouth. Too much coffee. Too much Brugger's coffee makes me talk like a potty mouth. Ooh. Not getting a sponsor now. I guess you're done, huh? Aren't you going to sponsor me? But I love you. I love you. Cuckoo, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Okay. I don't know anything about cotangent, so I'm going to deal with tangent. I don't know anything about secant, so I'm going to deal with sine. Sine. This does not mean less than 0. This means negative. So tangent is negative. Let's see. All students take calculus. Tangent is positive here and here in the third. So tangent's negative up here and negative down here. Sine is positive. Sine is positive here, and sine is positive here, making the big winner quadrant 2. Yay! It's so much fun. All right, so I don't know anything about secant, but that goes with cosine. So cosine is positive. Tangent is negative. Ka-ching, ka-ching. All students take calculus. So cosine is positive here and here. Tangent is negative here and here, because T says tangent's positive there. So big winner here, quadrant 4. And last but not least of these problems, you're like loving these problems. Sine, negative. Tangent, negative. So, all students take calculus. I hope you all know that this means sine is positive. This means tangent is positive. This means cosine is positive. And this means all things are positive. So, let's see. Sine is negative. Sine is negative here and here. Tangent is negative. Tangent's negative here and here, making the big winner again, quadrant 4. How many quadrant 4s do we have? Just 2. All right, find the exact value of these. These take a little bit of work. So you're trying to find the exact value. That means don't touch your calculator, dummy. No calculator. Nixnay on the calculator stay. Should have paused it already by now. God, you're rushing me back. All right, there's my angle. There's opposite. There's hypotenuse. There's adjacent. I'm going to do one. There's 3 of them. So I'll pause it when I bring down there. Okay, there's 3 of them. So if you need me to do this one and then you pause it and go, oh yeah, that's how you do it, then pause it to do the other 2 on your own. What was I? Okay, so I want adjacent. I was given hypotenuse. That's cosine. So cosine of 30 degrees is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse, 48. All right. So because I have to use the exact value, I need to know what this is. Oh, well, that's the square root of 3 over 2, Mr. Krause. That's not hard. X over 48. So all we're going to do now is a little cross multiplying. 2 times x is 2x is equal to 48 times the square root of 3. And we divide by 2, and I get x equals 24 radical 3. All right, here we go. If you didn't, now you get it. Like, oh yeah, now I get it. Now pause it. Do this one on your own. Oh, I didn't give you an x. Damn, this is x. I didn't give you an x here. This is x. Sorry. Now pause it. Do it on your own. All right, you're back. There's my dog. Somebody walked by the house. He's my protecting. So this is opposite. This is hypotenuse. He just wants to go play. Which trig function uses opposite and hypotenuse? That would be sine. So sine of 45 degrees is equal to opposite, which is 5 over hypotenuse, which is x. Sine of 45 degrees is square root of 2 over 2 is equal to 5 over x. Cross multiply, I get x times square root of 2 is equal to 10. Divide by radical 2, divide by radical 2, and don't end there, because that's what x equals, but you have to rationalize it. So you get 10 radical 2 over 2, which of course everybody knows is 5 square roots of 2. All right, moving on, chillin'. Oh, let's see. I'm talking about this angle, so this would be opposite, this would be adjacent, and this would be hypotenuse. Once again, I want sine. So sine of 60 is equal to opposite, which is 21, over hypotenuse, which is x. We never like when the hypotenuse is x because it always requires rationalization. It's kind of a pain, but it is what it is. All right, children, let's see. This is the square root of 3 over 2, because that's what the sine of 60 is equal to 21 over x. We will cross multiply. So I get x times the square root of 3 is equal to 42. Divide by radical 3. Oops. Divide by radical 3. Rationalize. Multiply by radical 3 over radical 3. And I get x is equal to 42 radical 3 all over 3. But of course 3 goes into 42. So my answer is 14 radical 3. There's my answer, chillin'. Yay! All right, moving on. All I'm asking you to do here is draw the angle in standard position. So on a piece of paper, write down what this angle is. Write down these these axes and draw it. Let me show you the first one's 5 pi over 9. Write it, 5 pi over 9. Then 7 pi over 4. And negative 11 pi over 10. So write those three down. Maybe I can keep all three of them down there. Okay, now you can pause it. Just draw them. All I want you to do is draw them. All right, first thing I'm going to do is convert them. So I'm going to multiply by pi, 180 over pi. I want to get rid of pi, so pi has to go in the denominator, pi. So 9 goes into 180 20 times. So this is theta equals 100 degrees. All right, so 100 degrees in standard position. You have to have your initial side. There it is. And my terminal side will be just past 90 degrees. And there's theta. Done. 7 pi over 4 multiplied by 180 over pi. Again, if you need to, you grab your calculator and just do, okay, control division 7 over 7. See? 7 over 4 times 180. And this will tell you it's 315 degrees. So I really get 315 degrees. So let's see. Initial side. It's hard to draw, so show me a dark initial side. 90, 180, 270, and 315 degrees. That's about right in the middle here. Theta. All right, negative 11 pi over 10. We're going to multiply by 180 over pi. Pi's cancel. 10 goes into 180 18 times. Now I got to figure out what 18 times 11 is. 18 times 11 is, so my answer is theta equals, ooh, that's annoying, negative 198. So let's see. Negative 90, ooh, I forgot to put my initial sign. Negative, so that's negative 90. That'd be negative 198 and negative 180, and then negative 198 would be just a little bit past there. Theta. All right, I've given you 4 problems. Pause it right now, write these down. I'm going to show you the next one in a second, so pause it. All right, then here's the last one. The last one is sine 240 times cosine 300. Pause it. All right, now I'm going to go do the problems. You should have already paused this and you should have tried this on your own. Now, if you wrote them down and you're here just to watch me do one of them, watch me do one of them and do the rest on your own. All right, you ready? Sine of 60 is the square root of, oh, I don't get, pick a different color. Sine of 60 is radical 3 over 2. Cosine of 30, radical 3 over 2. Well, since they have the same denominator, I'm just going to add them up, and I get radical 3 plus radical 3 is 2 radical 3s. Remember, this is kind of like x and x. X plus x would be 2x. Same thing you do with radical. Same thing kind of way. Keep the denominator just 2. Oh, wait, the 2's cancel. So this is just equal to radical 3. Now, can you check that on your calculator? Hell yeah. So you just come over here and you go sine of 60 plus cosine of 30 equals, okay, we came up with radical 3, right? Same thing. So there we go. So you can always check these on your calculator, but you're not going to know what to get. You got to get your right answer, okay? So tangent of 30, see, tangent of 30 is radical 3 over 3, plus the tangent of 60, which is just radical 3 over 1, really. But I have to combine them, so I need to make them have common denominators. Of course, the common denominator is 3. So this would be 3 radical 3 over 3. Now I can combine them. 1 radical 3 plus 3 radical 3s is 4 radical 3s all over the common denominator of 3. Done. Tangent of 315. Well, that, I don't know about that one. Wait, am I doing these without you guys knowing what I'm talking about? Oh, no, those are all head. Okay, so now I have to do reference angles. Now I'm not talking about angles in the first quadrant. So tangent of 315, it's right here, 315. That has a reference angle of 45 degrees. Oh, okay. So tangent of 45 is 1, but I'm in the fourth quadrant, so tangent's negative in the fourth quadrant. Cosine of 150, 150 is right here. That gives me a reference angle of 30, and the cosine of 30 is radical 3 over 2, but I'm in the second quadrant, and cosine's negative in the second quadrant. So that's negative. So negative 1 times negative radical 3 over 2 is radical 3 over 2. Now again, if you want to check your answer, check your answer. We said tangent of 315 times the cosine of 150. And we get 0.86666. And we came up with radical 3 over 2. So if you take the square root of 3 and you divide it by 2, and then this will show up nicely, you get 0.866. So yeah, you got it right. All right, sine of 240. We are in the third quadrant. Some of you should start doing this stuff in your head. Sine of 240. 240 is down here in the third quadrant. It's 60 degrees away. Sine is negative in this quadrant, so sine of 60 degrees is negative radical 3 over 2. Cosine of 300. Well, 300 goes past. So 300 is right here. Oops, 300 is right here. And that's got a reference angle of 60 degrees, but cosine's positive in this quadrant, so that would be positive 1/2. And if I multiply these, I get negative radical 3 times 1, which is negative radical 3 all over 4. And yes, in this case, when you multiply, you add the denominators. And again, you can check that on your calculator. It's right. All right, there's the next part. If the point negative 815 lies on the terminal side of an angle, find the exact value of all 6 trig functions. Go ahead and pause it. Pause it. You lazy bum, stop watching me. All right, first thing we got to do is plot this sucker and see where the heck we are. Negative 815. Oh, we're up here. So there's the part of my bow tie I'm going to draw. Remember, the bow tie goes like this. So there's the part of the bow tie I'm going to draw. I went out 8 and up 15. Now I will use my Pythagorean Theorem. 8 squared plus 15 squared equals 17 squared. So this is 17. So now I want to know the exact value of all 6 trig functions. Sine of theta, cosine of theta, tangent of theta, cosecant of theta, secant of theta, and cotangent of theta. Let's see. Sine, let's see, I'm going to take care of the signs right now. All students. So sine is positive. So these are going to be positive. That means these have to be negative. So they're negative, 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 negative. All right, sine is positive. So sine would be opposite over hypotenuse, 15 over 17. This would be 17 over 15. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, 8 over 17, but it's really negative 8 over 17 and negative 17 over 8. And tangent is opposite over adjacent, which is 15 over 8, or negative 8 over 15. Triangles, kids, triangles. Lots of triangles. Getting close. There it is. There it is. Find the exact value of. All I want to do is know what the exact value of this is. So, pause it. Don't watch the monkey perform. All right, hopefully you're back. Pause. Let's grab a different color. Let's grab a cool color. First thing I'm going to do is convert this to degrees. Let's see. That would be 225 degrees. So I want to know what the secant of 225 degrees is. First thing I'm going to do is figure out what the reference angle is. It's in this quadrant. 225. 225 is 45 degrees away. So 45 degrees is my reference angle. But I don't know anything about secant. I know a lot about cosine. Cosine of 45 degrees is the square root of 2 over 2. So secant is the reciprocal of that. This is the last time I'm going to show you this. The reciprocal of that would be 2 over radical 2. Now, you should all know this is just radical 2. But if you don't, you multiply by radical 2 over radical 2, and you get 2 radical 2 over 2, and the 2's cancel. So the secant of 225 is radical 2. But I'm in the third quadrant, so the answer is negative. All right, 5 pi over 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This would be 300 degrees. Let me make sure. 5 pi over 3. Multiply by 180 over pi. This goes, it goes in there 60 times. Yes. So this is the same as the cotangent of 300 degrees. Again, I don't know anything about the cotangent. Well, first of all, I got to find the reference angle. So let me find the reference angle. How far away is 300 from 360? Obviously, it's 60 degrees away. So really what I want to find is the tangent of 60 degrees. Well, the tangent of 60 degrees is radical 3. And the reciprocal of that would be radical 3 over 3. And in the fourth quadrant, all students, tangent's positive here. So in that fourth quadrant, it has to be negative. Negative 7 pi over 6. This would be the same thing as the cosecant of negative 210 degrees. So let's figure out where that is. There's negative 90, negative 180. Oh, negative 210 degrees. So my reference angle is 30. So really what I want to find is not cosecant, but the sine of 30 degrees. And the sine of 30 degrees is 1/2. So cosecant would just be the reciprocal of that, which would be 2. And now all students, sine is positive here, so is cosecant. So there is, in fact, your answer. All right, kids, this is the last review question right here. This is it. Claudio is standing on the top of I have a picture for you. So Claudio is standing on the top of a 300-foot cliff and looks down on the level ground below. He sees a cheetah and an elk. I have no idea if those ever would be in the same geological location, but, you know, I teach math. Some distance from each other. The cheetah is 125 feet from the base of the cliff. I don't know how he knows that. It must be a building or a marker or something. Maybe he's already done a little bit of math. The question is, I want you to find x, and I want you to find, to the hundreds place, and I want you to find how far the cheetah and elk are away from each other. So let's go to the drawing. Oops, I think I put the wrong number on there. Claudio is standing on top of a 300-foot cliff, so this should probably be 300 feet. And the elk is 125 from the, the cheetah is 125 feet away. Where'd these things come from? 125 feet away from the base of the cliff. All right, find x. And then I want you to find how far away the cheetah is from the elk. Pause it. Come on, you can try this on your own. Pause it. Do it. Don't watch me do it. Pause it now. Put your chicken bowlers. Be back. Okay, here we go. So hopefully you did pause it, because if you're just watching me, that's stupid. All right, so I want to find this angle measure right here. So I'm going to work in this triangle right here. And you know what might be in your best interest? Is to just draw that triangle right here. I know this is what I'm looking for. I know this is 300, and I know this is 125. So if I'm looking for that x, here, this is opposite, and this is adjacent, and this is hypotenuse. Well, O and A is tangent, so the tangent of x is equal to opposite, which is 125, over adjacent, which is 300. So you got to go to your calculator and do escape. Tangent, escape. Tangent inverse of 125 divided by 300. And you get 22.619. Write it all out. 22.619,864. Okay. Now I want to round it to the Hundredths, is that what it said? Hundredths place. So I get x equals 22.62. All right, if you couldn't get that answer because of the calculator, pause it now. Use that answer to find the distance between the elk and the cheetah. Pause it now. All right, you're back. I'm going to erase this. And I'm going to put in the fact that we figured out that this is now 22.62 degrees because it says using your answer. So my goal is to find x here. I really can't find x directly. This is known as one of those indirect questions. So what I want to do is use this right triangle. This side, and this side. I'm going to use this right triangle. By the way, do y'all love do you love Claudio's muscles? That boy works out hard, man. Wish I worked out as hard as he did. I'd probably be stronger. No, I'm not. So I'm going to use that yellow triangle. So I'm going to draw that yellow triangle here. So I know this is 300. And I do know this angle measure. This angle measure is 22.62 plus 12. So that's 34.62. And I'm going to find this side. Now this side, we'll call it y, is representing this whole side. I called it y. So let's see. Hypotenuse, opposite, adjacent. Adjacent and hypotenuse. Well, I don't care about the hypotenuse. I want to find opposite. So opposite and adjacent is tangent again. So in this case, the tangent of 34 degrees, 34.62 degrees is equal to opposite, which is y, over 300. Cross multiply. So I just multiply this side by 300. And I get y equals, so 300 tangent, 300 times the tangent of 34.62. 207, 1107, 207.1107, 1107, 304. Well, that's the distance of that whole side is 207 point blah, blah, blah. I don't want that because this part I already know is 125. So I only want from here to here. So I'm going to take that 207.1107304 and I'm going to subtract off 125. So minus 125. And I get 82.11. So the answer is 82.1107. Now I'm sure they didn't ask me to get that right. How far? Oops. Nope. Nearest foot. All right, I want the nearest foot. The answer is 82 feet. All right, kids, that's it. I give up. That's all I can help you with. Oh, gosh, I hope you guys do well. I hope you studied hard. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you. Thank you for being a good student. Thank you for caring about your education. Thank you for wanting to succeed in life. I don't know if you watch the news and everything that's going on, but you need to be successful. All right? I really, really care about you guys. I want you to study hard. Get a good night's sleep tonight, and good luck on tomorrow's test. All right? Peace out, kids. Okay, I'm still here. Peace out. No, peace out. Really, peace out. Peace out. Get out. Bye. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. That's not creepy.